Hi, this is Dreama, and today we're doing a client reading, and this actually is a crystal reading, but I'm going to be using a combination today of the crystal and the tarot, and I'll explain why in a moment. I've already shuffled the cards and actually laid them out in a spread that I designed for this client. The client had ordered a crystal reading, and the question was a guidance question. What will happen if I do this? Basically, they have feelings for someone, and they want to know if they should or should not tell them. And I want to explain a little bit about the crystal before I move on. What the crystal does, what I see in the crystal is something that's like a black and white movie. It's very short. It's not real detailed, and there's no sound. So basically, as far as the guidance goes, I think the cards will give us a little bit more insight and guidance, so that's why I've added them. Now, first I'm going to do the cards. I've already laid these out ahead of time because for some reason my camera only goes 8 or 9 minutes and then it kind of shuts itself off. So I want to make sure I have enough time to do everything. So I'm going to start with the cards here. Now, these 3 cards represent how this person feels and how they may react if the client tells them, okay? Now, I've not looked at these till now, so we have the 4 of Coins, the Page of Swords, and the Queen of Coins. Now, these cards are interesting. I'm going to start with the 4 of Coins. And what that tells me about this person is that this person is someone that guards their feelings. They don't really let anybody in. They have something that has happened to them in the past that they really feel like that they have to guard their feelings. So even though they may have these feelings for the client, they are not going to show it. They've built up some sort of wall around them, okay? Now this card, the Page of Swords, is interesting because what it shows me is that this person, you know, if you tell them, they may become very defensive. That's what it says to me. There's swords behind. It's almost like a defensive card. And that is in relationship to this. They really don't want anybody to know how they really feel. And they may not be receptive to what you tell them. They will become defensive about that, okay? And finally, the Queen of Coins. Now, as you can see, she's holding golden leaves, flowers. What that tells me is that she's clinging to those leaves. Like this person is clinging to that, their own feelings, because they don't want anybody to really know who they are or how they feel. This is a self-protection mechanism. Something bad has happened to them in the past, and they are afraid. There's a lot of fear going on. Okay, now we're going to move on to the advice cards. I'm going to move them up here just so we can see them a little better. And we have the 8 of Swords and the 9 of Cups. Now, I'm going to start with the swords, okay? Now, what this tells me about the client and the advice of the client is that, as you can see, there's a lady, and she's enclosed in a bubble, and she's being pierced by these swords. What that tells me is that the client is very afraid, very, very afraid, and this person's trying to get out of that bubble. It's telling me that the client, you really need to overcome this fear. That's what you need to do, to reach out of this protective bubble that you've built around yourself. Much like this other person, you guys are pretty much alike in that area. You've built this bubble around yourself to protect yourself. You need to break out of that bubble, okay? And then we have the 9 of Cups. This card is all about abundance and joy. As you can see, he's really happy, and there's lots of grapes and fruits around him. What that tells me is that if you do break out of your bubble, in the end, you will reap all the benefits and all the gifts this relationship has to offer, okay? But you must overcome this fear first and reach out. Now, as far as the other person, they do have this, so expect that they will become defensive and they will not seem receptive to what you're saying. But in the end, they will, okay? Now we're going to move on to the crystal. And like I said, this does show just glimpses, so whatever I get, you know, may or may not be helpful, but hopefully the tarot was. Okay. Okay. It looks like I'm seeing what looks like it's either a word or letters. Let me see. Letters. Looks like P R O B. It's not really a word. And they're long knives through the words. Very long knives. They go all the way through. Well, through the letters, I mean. Okay, it's fading. What I'm getting from that is that expect your words to be cut down when you speak to this person. Yeah, it's gone now. Okay, that's what I would expect. That more than likely is going to happen. They're not going to be receptive. They may become even actually defensive, but in the long run, it's going to work out according to the tarot. So let's see what else we see. Okay. It looks like a horse. Yeah, it's a horse. And its legs are, it's running, its legs are moving, it's running in place. It's not going anywhere. It's just running. What I'm getting from the horse is that the client, that you need to move on. The horse is not moving, it's just sitting there running its legs, almost like treading water. You need to move forward. Okay, the horse is disappearing. Okay, now that's pretty much all I'm getting from those. I do want to thank everyone for joining me today. Like I said, it was kind of a different kind of reading because I used both types of tools, and that's mainly because the guidance question is very hard to answer with just a crystal, mainly because you just get a glimpse of what you may do, what you may not do, and things like that. It really doesn't tell the full story. So that's why I incorporated the Tarot of Dreams. I do hope this has helped the client today, and I do hope everyone joins me again.